Marina smiled as she watched her son trying on his new suit. Tall, well-built, dark-haired. Tomorrow her boy would be getting married. It was hard to believe. Ilya studied his reflection in the mirror carefully, then nodded with satisfaction. The suit fit him perfectly. A stylish suit, the young man turned to his mother. Nice color too, looks expensive. It is expensive, Marina thought, but aloud she said, I'm glad you like it. At the wedding, I'll definitely cry the moment I see you all dressed up. At the wedding? Ilya finally tore himself away from the mirror. Mom, are you planning to come to the wedding or what? We agreed you wouldn't be there. Agreed? Marina was surprised. Son, I thought you were joking. What do you mean, joking? Ilya began pacing nervously around the room. Have you forgotten what Vika's parents are like? There'll be nothing but high society at the wedding. You'll feel like some poor relative there. I'll be worrying about you the whole time. Mom, do you want to ruin such an important day for me? He sat down next to Marina on the couch, took her hand, and gave it a gentle squeeze. Mommy, just imagine how pathetic you'll look next to all those dolled-up ladies. My heart would burst from humiliation. Vika and I will come visit you the next day, okay? We'll have some tea or champagne. You'll congratulate us and give us your gift. Marina's heart clenched with hurt. Her own son was so ashamed of her that he was willing to look like an orphan at his own wedding. Why would I look pathetic? She objected. I've booked a good hairstylist. I'll get a manicure. I'll wear a decent dress. What decent dress? That old blue rag? Ilya snapped and started pacing again. Enough. He stopped in front of her. If you won't understand nicely, I'll say it straight. I don't want to see you at the wedding. Call me a bastard if you want, but I'm ashamed that my mother's a cleaning lady. I don't want you embarrassing me with your homeless look in front of Vika's relatives. Is that clear enough? Marina, stunned by her son's confession, couldn't utter a word. Ilya silently grabbed his backpack, the garment bag with the suit, and headed for the door. At the threshold, he stopped. I'll say it one more time. Don't come to the ceremony. No one will be happy to see you there. Ilya had left several hours ago. Dusk had fallen outside, and Marina was still sitting on the couch, completely numb. She couldn't even cry from the shock. The tears came later, when she turned on the light and took an old family photo album out of the dresser. That album contained her entire simple life. Memories crashed over Marina with such force that it was hard to breathe. An old worn photograph. A blue-eyed 2-year-old girl stares intently into the camera. Her colorful dress is clearly secondhand. Beside her stands a thin, strange woman with a scattered gaze and a foolish smile. Even in the poor quality photo, it's obvious the woman is drunk. Marina was 2.5 when her mother was stripped of parental rights and disappeared from her daughter's life forever. Growing up, Marina never tried to find her good-for-nothing mother. Why bother? A group photo. 10-year-old Marina, with unruly golden curls, stands in the second row, third from the left. Life in the orphanage was no picnic. The institution where Marina grew up was an exact replica of the troubled shelters shown in documentaries about the wild 1990s. Cooks stole food, caregivers yelled obscenities, and the headmistress encouraged hazing. She didn't care at all how the older kids maintained discipline. 3 pretty girls in waitress uniforms coquettishly posed for the photographer on the steps of a roadside cafe with a slightly crooked sign. After finishing school, Marina didn't think much about choosing a profession. She quickly found a job as a waitress in a roadside cafe with the telling name, By the Road. The owner paid a modest salary, but a waitress's main income came from tips, and pretty, quick Marina was tipped generously. 12-hour shifts were exhausting, but she didn't complain. She liked her independent life. She was given a spacious, bright room in a communal apartment. The neighbors, an elderly couple, were friendly. She had some money, even if not much. And she unexpectedly discovered a talent, the ability to dress well for next to nothing. Marina bought clothes at thrift stores and altered them, turning worn-out garments into fashionable items. A summer clearing in the forest. Happy, laughing Marina sits on green grass, wearing a large wreath of flowers and leaves. A handsome, dark-haired guy in a similar wreath hugs her shoulders. So many years had passed, yet Marina's heart still skipped a beat when she looked at that photo. She had been working at the cafe by the road for about a year when she met Maxim. That summer morning, the cafe was unusually crowded. Marina rushed around the hall with a tray, serving impatient customers. Suddenly, she tripped on flat ground and spilled a glass of tomato juice onto a guy sitting by the window. A bright red stain slowly spread across his light-colored shirt. Marina was struck speechless with horror. One glance was enough to tell the shirt was expensive. Before she could recover, the cafe owner appeared, fussing around the man and yelling at the poor waitress, threatening to fire her. "There's no need to make such a fuss." The guy smirked and handed Marina his car keys. "Don't worry, I'm heading to my parents' country house, and I have a clean t-shirt in the car. Could you bring me the backpack from the back seat?" "I'll get it myself, Maxim Nikolaevich." The eager owner snatched the keys from Marina. "Otherwise, this hen will break something in your car, too." Left alone with the customer, the frightened girl finally managed to apologize. "I'm so sorry. It's the first time this has ever happened, honestly. I'll compensate for the damage." "Calm down. What damage? It's nothing serious. By the way, what's your name?" "Marina." "And I'm Maxim," he said, holding out his hand. Shyly shaking his hand, Marina dared to look at him properly for the first time. Attractive, tall, athletic. Gray eyes with a hint of amusement. A charming smile. The owner brought the backpack and offered to show the man where he could clean up. Passing Marina, he sneered, "Why are you standing around? Is your shift already over?" She was taking payment from a couple in love when she heard a cheerful voice behind her. "Marina, could you spare me a minute of your attention?" She turned around. Maxim, now in a fresh blue t-shirt, was sitting at the same table. "Would you like to order?" "Of course." While serving the handsome visitor, Marina felt tense. Her cheeks burned. The owner personally escorted the man to the door, then winked at Marina. "Don't be offended. I yelled at you on purpose, just in case he decided to make you pay for the shirt. It costs more than your salary." "How do you know him?" Marina asked. "That's Max Skvortsov, the mayor's son. Every dog in this town knows him." By evening, Marina was so exhausted that she completely forgot about the morning incident. She had only one desire, to get home as soon as possible and collapse into bed. It was already dark outside, and who knew how long she'd have to wait for the bus. Suddenly, a light-colored foreign car pulled up to the cafe. Marina instinctively stepped back onto the porch, then recognized the vehicle. What was the mayor's son doing here? Maxim jumped out of the car, grabbed a large bouquet from the seat, and walked straight toward her. Stopping right in front of the stunned girl, he pressed the flowers into her hands. "Finish work already?" "Sorry, I didn't know what kind of bouquets you like, so I went with classic white roses. I promise that later, I'll give you only your favorite flowers." "Later?" The waitress was completely confused. "Why?" "Why not?" Max laughed. "I'm courting you. By the way, it's such a lovely evening. Want to go somewhere?" Marina forgot how badly she'd wanted to sleep. Everything happening felt like a magical dream. She suddenly realized she was ready to go anywhere with this man, but fortunately remembered her unpresentable appearance in time. Old jeans, a simple t-shirt, her hair a mess. "Thank you, but I'm terribly tired. I can't today," she said regretfully. "Then tomorrow?" Max insisted. "Tomorrow," Marina echoed. The next day they met, and never parted again. It was love at first sight,